Well, hello, and you're most welcome back to Gmodism. We are in the depth, from the depth, and today we're going to build a build for Lieutenant powered by Greed. So, as you probably know by now, the different tiers in the army of Gmodism get some different builds, and the Lieutenant will get a little small build. So we discussed a little bit before with Lieutenant powered by Greed, and he also wants this build in from the depth. Of course, any patron, any commissioned officer in the army of Gmodism can of course choose another game or thing like that, by the way, if you didn't know that. In any case, what Powered by Greed wishes is that we make a hydrofoil. And also that we should make a hydrofoil using the custom rudder parts, because they are, according to him, superior for making foils. So, that is very nice. As you can see, I have also abandoned TraitorBot, so we're back with the trusty old Rearm bot. Isn't that nice? Applause, please. So I'm thinking we should probably make a very fast repair and rearm vessel. That's a hydrofoil, or possibly a transport. I'm thinking that kind of thing. Small little vessel, transport, operations, stuff like that. Could be pretty useful for second chapter Frontier Fleet, which we will be assembling to combat the Nether. And as you probably already know, I have this here, AOG second chapter Frontier Fleet. We already have pretty many different small builds which you've seen in streams and videos before. Like Fred Battlecruiser, for example. In any case, let us get back into the game. We're gonna start a new build, so we're gonna wipe everything. I'm thinking that we probably want to build this thing using alloy, because I would suppose we would like to max our speed potentials here. And I'm aware that this might be actually too light. We shall see. But since we are having contact with the water surface, I do hope it will work out basically anyways. But I'm thinking we're gonna have some pretty off-center of thrust if we only use jets for powering this. So I'm thinking we should have some kind of steam propeller, perhaps, combined with some custom jet engine. Should probably work. I'm thinking we're gonna have a variable engine, so we have Compact AB, El Variable Mini Engine. We're gonna select that, or we already did, it's here. I think this will provide us with enough power. Now let's see here, we need to be a little bit smart about. Right. It literally has like not very many connection points. Well, that's great. So we're gonna do the shift click. Very fantastic. Hull pipe, isn't that quite nice? In any case, here or where is the exhaust is going. We might change this a little bit later, but I think this should look pretty decent and should probably provide us with the engine power we need. So, resources, and let's see if it produces as much as it did before. It produced 1,000 before. And I think that, yeah, 1,300 it can produce right now. I think it's a little lower when it's under load, but it should provide for us, I think. I started to think a little bit, and I think we might actually go with a propeller. Instead of having custom jet engines or steam propellers, we might go with a propeller up solution, and I think we may gain some cool speeds, but the top speed is only 100. And the custom jet engine's top speed is, yeah. So I don't know if we can get this to 100. Hopefully we can. We shall check that out. We'll may need to add some jets here to up the speed a little bit. But, well, we'll see. I've been experimenting a little bit with how to design the hydrofoil. And I was thinking to go with a more classical hydrofoil approach, but I have decided to not do that and instead do a monopod type design. So we're going to have one like leg sticking down, which will attach to the hydrofoil, and I'm hoping this will give it a little bit more futuristic appearance, which I'm looking for. Like this. Oh my god, we had a little accident. Okay, so I found an autosave. Turns out that it behaves pretty strangely right now, thanks to the strong forces interacting with water. So we'll see if we can make this work. Right now, the only thing I can think of is that we could probably do an extremely quick lag ornithopter or something, but underwater with rudders. I think that could work. I don't know. We're not gonna do it right now, but well, it is pretty hard to make this thing work. We are trying to see if we can make it stable with one pod like this. We might need to increase them a little bit in order to not make it a flying thing, but possibly we could add jets too to help with that a little bit. But it's going to be a repair and rearm little build, so we are going to add so it has like 100k in material storage. So, well, I'm thinking it should have somewhat of a decent capacity. Inspired also by PoweredByGreed Slabman submission, which is of course a hydrofoil as well, and I'm pretty unconfident that I will be able to make a better hydrofoil than what he made for that tournament, for that ongoing tournament, but I am going to be inspired by the airplane-like design. I'm thinking that could be pretty cool. Just adding some jets here for somewhat of control does make it much more stable here. So I think we can find the optimal altitude probably using this. So inside of here, I set it to resource gathering because I think we'll have that as a little extra thing on there. But the current altitude is -4. And really shouldn't be. I wonder why that is. It's gonna be up. Does it have like a single axle? Or what's happening here? Actually, maybe we should control its pitch and stuff like that with PIDs. Not sure. We do have a pretty stable buoyancy, and of course this needs to be buoyant by itself because it will be able to sit still at areas. It's just when we move, we want the hydrofoil to be completely engaged. I think I found that I set the power scale of these rudders to be pretty low because I wanted it to not lag us out, but I think it might basically limit the force we are using. So we set the power scale to something lower because it's the overall power output. That's in the 400s if we drag it down. I think it might only actually change the angle, but we set them to max and drag them down if we have to. Now we can see we got some pitching issues too. What we could do is we could go to extra configuration and make it be horizontal. That could possibly help. But I wonder if perhaps if we make it a little bit stronger like this. I don't okay. I don't trust this setting here, actually. I'm going to manual control this. Like that. Okay, now we're just flying off the charts here. It seems, however, we are quite capable at holding the roll right, or the rolls, pretty stable with just a 0.1 power scale for that. So let's see here. Here we have the minimum altitude above water. if we change this, I think this is the thing that will... Oh no, now we went flying. 9 meters. Are we kind of skimming the surface here now? Oh, we are kind of just touching it. We're going up to 50 meters per second. I do think we lack a little bit control when we're bouncing like this. Let's see here. And we have to use these two as well. But yeah, okay. It's looking promising. And these thrusters need to be set up as pitchers. And this one too. Manual pitcher. There we go. Otherwise, they might interfere and try to keep us above the surface, which is really not something we want. Seems we perhaps need another little wing to control the pitch. I'm thinking maybe it's possible to actually put another access point onto here and make that control pitch. But right now, we have some pitch control here, and it seems to be working pretty fine. We're going to do a little experiment and see if we add a independent pitch point here, which only does affect pitch. Let's see here what happens if we're adding... Maybe we can make it look like that. Oh no. Okay. Now it seems we broke something. Now it's kind of double. Oh no. Okay, something like that. So I don't think we are going to EMP insulate this thing in a good way. Want to make it a little bit more efficient. So I'm actually going to add a little battery here, and it's not for us to use this battery. It's actually just for giving it to other craft. Actually, I think we're gonna do like this. We only need one of those, so we can have like 100,000 charge, and we can send that over immediately when we pop into the close vicinity. And we can have a little RTG just generating more power here, just a little bit, so that we can provide power whenever we come in contact. So we're gonna see if we can make it a little bit better maneuverable, but to do that we need to make sure we add all the components so we know kind of where it will be heavy and where it will be light. So we are going to thus add some basic stuff like one repair bot for it to repair itself. And we're going to add a couple of repair tentacles, and I'm thinking we're not gonna do the compact variant, but we're actually going to do like 6 of them on the sides here. I think it looks pretty funny. I don't know, repair tentacles is such a weird idea that I do want to have the visible variety. Alright, I have started to flesh out the design a little bit here. We added some temporary hydrofoil pitch controls in the front. I had ones in the back too, and in the front there, and it kind of worked, but not really, so I think we'll need a little support strut with a little pitch control to make it more stable and nice. Now, I had some issues with the AI, so I reverted back to an old trick that always works very well, and that is to use general purpose PID. So we can do a set point. Let's see here. Is it if it drag it up like this? Yeah, we get over the water. So we're gonna use this PID to control what altitude we want it at. Now I think we need to get back to... We'll need to do some tuning here to see wherever we will go with this. Now we are okay. Now we are in the water. We don't actually need to be in the water too much, but we want to have contact with it, because otherwise we don't have roll and pitch and well, steering control much. I added a little rudder here to steer from side to side, and oh yes, 99 meters per second. We're using all the propeller power, but I think this seems to be working pretty well. It needs some fine-tuning, of course, and stuff like that, but I think I'm gonna add some more touches here and tune it a little bit more. Alright, we are closing in on the result here. So I'm going to set the ideal pitch angle to something like, I don't know, if something like 7 degrees could be reasonable. It will make it so that the angle of attack when we hit the water is a little straighter, so it will kind of bounce off and be a little bit more stable. As you can see here, I did some designs and stuff, and now I need to build on this thing to not, because I fell off. So the idea behind this is, of course, that it's a unmanned fleet. We have the army of Gmodism little flag there. We have 6 repair tentacles. I think I set it up correctly to be a cargo ship as well as repairing and keeping no energy for itself. Remember, it doesn't even have a backup electric engine, it just carries some engine power. It cost kind of 8,000, and I think that's kind of good enough. As you can see, we're going at ish 60-70 meters per second. When it's wavy and we get into skip a little more, we can go up to, let's see here, 91 meters per second. So the speed kind of varies a little bit, but right now, okay, the cruise speed was a little higher before, but now it's 60. I think it depends a little bit on the weather too. But in any case, here we have it so far, and I think it's pretty cool, and I was a little bit surprised on actually that it wasn't too hard to set up in Hydrofoil. I will go and ask Lieutenant PoweredByGreed for any suggestions of improvements, and of course a name for this little vessel. And we will be updating that, fixing it, and do the final balancings. One thing, I think I need to add back resource gathering, because that was what I made it have when it's not doing anything else. And this doesn't matter anymore. We can actually zero this here, because it's not needed anymore. Yeah, and neither does this matter because I use it with PIDs, so yeah. Alright, well, one thing we definitely want, that is putting in his name here. There we go, Army of Gmodism, Lieutenant PoweredByGreed. There we go, max priority. Right, so I think this is set up as well as we can do it right now. We can do some tuning, do some extra settings, maybe make it stand still when it's on a resource zone. Sorry, and hopefully PoweredByGreed will be quite happy and have some name suggestion and possibly some improvement suggestions. And since it's not manned, I think it should have a little radio controller there, so it kind of makes sense. And we'll see. We'll be back, and when it's completed 100%, I will of course upload it to the Steam Workshop, so keep tuned for that too. In any case, hope you enjoyed this little build here, and hope PoweredByGreed will as well. And also, huge thanks to all of the commissioned officers in the Army of Gmodism: Cadet Shark, Cadet Robert, Lieutenant Vincent Veritas, Lieutenant LSG Canyon, Lieutenant Tyler Russ, Lieutenant Asteria, and of course, Lieutenant PoweredByGreed, whom we built for today, as well as Commander Eugene and Commander Ayak the Boater. Thanks a lot for supporting the channel, and I'll be seeing you all in some future videos. Ooh, we got to jump. In any case, this is your host, Lord Admiral of the Army of Gmodism, signing out.